Hey, welcome to my 1cc run of DoDonPachi DOJ. I'm calling it my angry 1cc run because this was just a weird one, and you're not going to catch me swearing and throwing things or anything like that in the run, but I think my anger kind of shows through, and it's kind of for a bunch of different reasons that I'll go into, and maybe people out there will relate to it. I don't know. But yeah, this was just a weird run for me to get the clear out of the way. And well, basically it's mainly a psychological, study into what goes into a run and the different factors involved, what prevents you from getting through barriers, what are the approaches to, best ensure a clear. So I guess my main strategy after I've gotten, basic routing out of the way, making sure I know where all the extends are, and the score, got the score-based extends down pat, which actually was a problem in this game and was part of the anger. Was having a hard time with that, but it was only a small part. There was other things involved that I'll get into. But yeah, before I get those, or after I get those aspects out of the way, I basically concentrate on splitting the run into probably two halves. The first half being the farthest I can get while losing only one life. And usually this is around the third stage, say. If it's a typical game with 5 stages, typically I get to a point where I can get past the first 3 stages with only losing, say, 1 life. Then I consider that part, or that half of getting a successful run, sort of out of the way. And then I focus on the latter half, or the, say, last 2 stages. And if I can achieve roughly 50% consistency in each half, so 50% of the time I can get through the first half of the game with only losing 1 life, and 50% of the time I can get through the latter half of the game, or the final 2 stages, say, wherever the bottleneck is, with only, say, after losing, say, 2 lives. So the remainder of those lives, let's say it's 2 or 3 lives that I can lose, I can afford to lose. When I get those 2 aspects down pat 50% of the time, doing save states, then I think I'm pretty close to being ready for a run. And here we get to the weird part about DOJ, my experience with it, because I'd been playing this game on and off for a long time, never seriously. I'm just not much of a DoDonPachi player. I've cleared this one along with, as well as the original DoDonPachi, but I just never put too much into them. And when I decided to, actually clear this game and just sort of get it out of the way, I didn't think it would take very long, probably about an average timeline for getting clear. And I did the same thing I usually do the save state method that I just mentioned, got my basic routing down, got the hidden extend down. Although I did have problems, and you'll see it in this run, getting the score-based extends down in every single run. It always comes down to the wire. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing differently than other people. I'm watching other people's runs, and they're clearing the game with at least 60 million points, and you need 50 million for the second extend. Anyways, I was having trouble with that, but that's not the main thing. I probably was able to satisfy the criteria of having, get through the first half of the game with losing only 1 life, and then the last 2 stages losing maybe, say, 2 or 3 lives tops. The criteria of getting those 2 halves done 50% of the time, I had that in the bag a while ago. I'd been playing the game maybe for a couple weeks, For some reason that during this time, I knew I could go for the clear, but I didn't actually really go for it. I, for whatever reason, decided to just sort of keep playing for fun. I guess I was getting burned out with the nerves aspect of, I don't know, sometimes it can be really, maybe other people can relate to this, it can just kind of burn you out going for that. It's not like it's high pressure or anything, but it just kind of takes some of the fun out of playing when you actually go for a clear. I don't know, that's my experience anyways. And I had just actually moved to a new arcade stick, so I think I was feeling that out, and that definitely had an impact on how I was my experience with DOJ here. But anyways, long story short, I was just continually doing save state practice, never really wanting to go for runs, full runs. You know, I don't know. I was pleased with that. Mainly I was kind of getting more acclimatized to the new arcade stick, which I had become a lot better with, and this game helped me get better with it. But I think that also got in the way of getting the clear, because when I finally decided, okay, I'm done with this game, I just want to be done, get the clear, move on, I started having troubles. You know, I kind of do the math. If I can get through half the game 50% of the time without, you know, dying once, and the other half dying maybe a few times and having enough lives to get to the very end, you know, should be able to get the clear pretty quickly after maybe a few runs, just statistically speaking. You know, it's not hard and fast math, but, you know, shouldn't take too many runs. And I don't know what it was. Part of it was me getting a little bit tense, trying to get this stupid clear out of the way, and the new arcade stick, which is a little more sensitive, and, you know, just getting a little bit too tense. My older arcade stick had a little bit of give to it, and I think that was sort of affecting my play a bit. You know, when I'd start getting close to, you know, like getting to the last stage or the stage before, or even the stage 3 boss, and I would just flub it because I'd start getting nervous, like, oh, I just want to get this out of the way. So I'd get a little bit stiffer on the new arcade stick. That was a problem. Nerves of just sort of wanting to get this out of the way. So yeah, this was just a weird clear for me to get past, because the game is obviously doable, you know. And this is obviously, by the way, not a, you know, some people will complain that this is not a real clear. This is only the first loop and it's on the 2-round setting. I don't care. You know, this is a first loop clear. That's really all I was going for. I'm not, just because the developers put this absurd requirement in for getting a 2-all to really call it a clear. You know, I don't want to get into that, but suffice to say, this is just a first loop clear. And anyways, so as you see, I died on this stage a couple times, really stupidly. Or did I only die once so far? I think I only died once so far. Well, anyways, a little bit of foreshadowing. And this is sort of where the anger sets in, because part of the other psychology of going for a clear is, and a lot of people I think will relate to this, is the restart syndrome aspect, where you have this criteria in your head where, you know, I can get through the first, say, like I said, 3 stages, dying only once. If you die twice, well, what the hell? You know, what's the point? Just reset the game. And the trouble with this is it leads to a sort of perfectionism that doesn't, for whatever reason, doesn't really play out the way it does in save state practice because of the nerves. There you go, I died. Now, theoretically, I should have restarted because I'm not fulfilling the criteria that I can usually do easily. But now I'm getting angry. You know, normally I would be restarting, but I said to hell with it. I'm so sick of restarting. I'm kind of sick of this game, to be honest. I mean, I like it. It's a good game, but I want to move on. This is taking too long. This is I think it's maybe 20 runs. Maybe even more. I don't know. I lost count, and, you know, if a run takes a half an hour and setup, and, you know, if it's 20 runs, you know, that's 10 hours. I don't know, that's too much for me, especially when I figured I already had it in the bag, you know, theoretically. So anyways, now what happened, I switched gears. You know, now the part of my brain which is worrying about dying, blowing it again, having to start again, that whole thing switched off. Now I'm playing on instinct, playing angry, like screw this game. And this is more like how I played during a save state practice. Just don't really care, you know? Just play on mostly instinct, concentrating, sure, but concentrating on the right thing, what's on the screen, not concentrating about the voice in the back of your head saying that, you know, somehow you're going to screw up. Which is what ends up happening in a run a lot. Too many times I get into that mode where I start meta-analyzing myself, and that's pretty much a surefire way to just chain death your way to a failed run. So this is, in my mind, already a failed run. You know, I'm already thinking, this is gonna bottom out sometime, either by the end of the stage, sometime in the last stage, heading to the last stage. Maybe I'll even get to the last boss, but I'll have no resources, so whatever. I'm just no commitment whatsoever, no worry, just play. And, you know, like I said earlier, I'm not cursing my way through playing this game or anything stupid like that, but I am playing angry. I'm playing like, screw this game. I'm tired of this game. And sort of tired of myself too, actually more than the game. Because really it comes down to me, you know, my shortcomings, not the game's. And I think that sort of shows through in my play style. You know, maybe I look a little jerkier, the motion of my ship, but in a lot of ways I think I'm actually more precise because I'm playing without that meta narrative, right? But a lot of tight movements, a lot of risky scenarios where normally I would avoid them or overanalyze them, or, you know, really honestly, instead of finding a proper path, you know, allow myself to get cornered and bomb, you know. So I'm doing more risky stuff, which in a save state practice, I'll probably do a fair amount of risky things, and I can get away with it because, you know, got my concentration, it's no big deal. If I get hit like there, see, that was stupid. I had bombs. That's another problem that I was facing. I noticed after I got the clear, I started thinking, what were all the things that I did wrong? Obviously the nerves and the meta narrative was a big problem. But another thing was just not wanting to bomb. You know, you get this thing in your head where, I'm going to need those bombs, or I don't need to bomb because, you know, I've done this so many times. And it's just, invariably, I've discovered this where, see, now I'm actually not, I probably should have bombed there using this logic I'm saying, but now I'm at the point of no return. I have almost no resources going to last stage. Like, I definitely have to ace the rest of this and play, like, totally screw this game to get to the end. Let alone have a chance at beating it. But yeah, for all those deaths I took, and I don't think I let too many bombs off, I definitely could have avoided those. And, you know, the resource aspect of wanting to hold on to bombs probably doesn't come into effect in too many cases anyways. Like, there's some scenarios like that where I'd like to have a bomb. I can get away with it if I don't, but most of the time I die. Or I guess in the last pattern of stage 3 boss, I usually like to have a bomb for that too. But here I am going to the last stage, and again, I'm looking at my resources and I think, I have nothing. You know, I have gone through this stage, like no miss the stage, other than say the end boss. I've done it. How often? In practice, maybe an eighth of the time, 1 out of 8 times, maybe. I don't know, but maybe that's even optimistic. I really wasn't keeping track, but I certainly didn't think I was going to do it this time. There's just too many places where it's really easy to die, and playing with this ship type, you don't have many bombs. So yeah, now at this point, I have 1 bomb. I know for this pattern coming up, this is usually, or these sets of patterns, this section usually requires at least 1 bomb. So I told myself, I better save it for, instead of panic bombing, I better save it for where I really know I see right there. Normally I would bomb something like that, But I knew I couldn't, because I knew there's going to be more hairier situations coming up very soon. As a matter of fact, pretty much right here, where you get cornered. There's no way out. So I had to strategically save that bomb for that. And now it's basically completely on my own. No get out of jail free card. And this is another part right there. Yep. Just squeezed out, where often becomes very touchy. And also right now in my mind, I'm thinking the score. In my mind, I'm not even close to the extend. You need to get 50 million to get that second extend. I don't know why I'm struggling with it. You know, I'm obviously not trying to chain, although I've tried to collect the bees and do some modest chaining in certain sections where I feel I can get a little bit of a bump to my score. But I'm just ignoring chaining altogether, I guess, is just making it way too close than it needs to be. So anyways, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, now not only do I not have any bombs, but even just dying, probably that kills my opportunity to get the next score-based extend. And that was a really clutch moment, because when you move to the right, you lose track of those things, and you don't know. In my mind, I'm thinking, are they below me or are they above me? I don't know, but I kind of knew that they might be below, so I was prepared for it, but still, I wasn't prepared for how fast the shots would come out. And now, because I haven't died in a while, my rank is kind of high, and things are coming much faster than I probably normally would play this in save state. But yeah, I'm thinking to myself, I pretty much have to be flawless to get that extend. Because otherwise, if I die, the rank just goes too far down, and I barely by the skin of my teeth close enough to get this extend. And I do get it, and I get it pretty much at the last moment possible. There's just no way I could have even delayed it even a split second and gotten it just after. I just get it the last set of enemies that can actually possibly get me an extend, which is coming up fairly soon here. And yeah, the hyper plays into that too. There we go. So at this point, I'm not even thinking the extend, because that would just get too much into my head. Just try to get out of this and hope for the best. That almost went really badly. That was music to my ears. When I heard that, I was like, I think I can do this. This angry 1cc stuff, this is maybe something I should do more often. I kind of felt like I had to bomb there not to get too cute, because actually now I have a chance, which I didn't think I had pretty much at any point till I got that extend at the very end there. And now, yeah, see, because I haven't died, the rank is kind of high, and these things are coming at me a lot faster than I think normally I would experience in a save state. But I wasn't too worried about it. I knew that, you know, I'm probably going to die, but I have resources, have 2 lives, 4 bombs. But still trying to get as far as I can on this, riding this 1 life. And this is just insane. I never quite got comfortable with this. Not sure if anybody really does, other than, you know, the masters at this game. Yeah, of course. That was never going to happen. So yeah, at this point I'm feeling pretty confident. I almost blew it right there. So stupid. It just goes to show, even could have just probably bombed my way to victory at this point, and just had to make it hard on myself. At this point, I know I have a clear, just try to get it without dying if I can. And look at the life there on the boss, and of course, take a hit. And yeah, looking at that score, I mean, that's pathetic. I mean, that's about as low as you can get, and I needed that extend. While getting that extend, you know, I don't think I ever see scores that low with clears. So yeah, that was my arduous, painful one-all of DoDonPachi DOJ. But yeah, this was mainly just to go over these sort of things that rattle around my brain when going for a clear, and I'm just curious, do you guys go through that stuff? Do you have any of these meta-narratives that get in the way? What are your strategies for going for a clear? Just let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.